Hello everyone, this is Speeding Events. Today I am doing the 5 million EC challenge, and really the challenge is more of an exercise. The idea is that higher level players have a harder time relating to new players. Advice that we might give other players in our brackets may not apply to a newer player. So the 5 million EC challenge is you take 5 million EC, surprise, and you have to buy a ship and fit it with a level 50 using nothing that a new level 50 wouldn't otherwise have. So no traits, no rep gear, in particular no rep gear because they're going to need a build to get into the rep missions and do reasonably well with. And anything that you could get up to level 50, such as the Jem'Hadar set, is fair game. If you want to grind out a set of Dominion Polarons from Boldly They Rode, that's your prerogative. Now, I have declined from doing that because I am lazy, but this is my build. I have here a Starfleet engineer. She's an AOI. She's what I had available around level 50, so she's the one I decided to use. Engineer is actually a pretty good choice for this challenge because lower levels or lower damage ratings, being a little bit tanky doesn't hurt. So I went with dual disruptor beam bank, some cannons. You can see the mods. I'm not going to go through each one. All of this gear up here, 15k a pop. People have this stuff on the market for a hair above recycle value. So these basically cost nothing. I got a slightly tanky deflector, again 15k. These are 15k as well. Regular, blue impulse engines. Got engines to weapons on my core, and shield. Made sure to get a resilient shield with some plasma resistance. Now for engineering, just went with one of these, plasma and tetrion resistance. Good for a starting tune because the Omega and Nucara reps are where you're going to be starting. A little bit of weapon power because these are like 6,000. These were about 60 grand pop. Shield emitters, they don't do much, but they don't do nothing either. And these were about 50 grand a pop. Some bonus disruptor damage. Now for skills, bit of a tankier build because lower damage. You're going to be you're not using energy or frequency is the big thing. So 3 points in advanced energy weapon training. Some EPS, some impulse because you're going to be slow. Control amp because every build needs control amp. Can't stress this enough how good control amp actually is. Drain you don't need yet, but eventually you're going to want a plasmonic leech. So you're going to want some drain, might as well get it now. Bit of accuracy. Defense doesn't hurt, makes you harder to hit. I don't know why I took damage control. I never take damage control normally, but apparently I took a point in it, so there it is. Some hull plating, so you can take a bit more damage. Shield hardness. Of course, 3 points in each of the crit ones, always. Some more power over here. Some cooldowns over here. Shield mastery is not something I would take once you start doing the big numbers, but at the low numbers it doesn't hurt. Long range targeting sensors. Pretty much every build other than a torp boat or a strictly psi build is going to want 3 points in this, and a little bit of hull penetration and a little bit of shield weakening. For space traits, I took batteries to give a secondary boost to all subsystems because well within the amount that I had to spend, I was able to purchase some weapons battery. I should also mention that the ship itself, the Mesh Weaver, cost me 3 million. That comes out of your 5 million, by the way, in case I didn't say that initially. So that was enough to purchase some ship batteries. Where are we? Grace Under Fire, because as an engineer, it never hurts to have more instances of Miracle Worker. Beam training, additional hit points from Bulkhead Technician, some cannon damage, because this is mostly a cannon boat. Increased damage based on team size, Fleet Coordinator. Operative, for more crit chances. And Warp Theorist, to get a little bit more EPS, because at the lower damage levels, EPS actually still does stuff. It doesn't, in the higher levels, but you don't need it later on. But for now, it doesn't hurt. And some bonus power at low power levels doesn't hurt as well. For stations, this is where that dual beam that I showed earlier will start to make sense. 2 beam overloads, 2 cannon scatter volleys. The beam overload 3, that was 200,000, and the scatter volley 3, that was about 70,000. So that was part of my cost. Always running 2 betas unless you have some sort of major cooldown reduction. 1 copy of tactical team, would have been nice to have 2, don't have the space. Emergency power to weapons, of course, because it is a category 2 damage bonus, 10% additional energy damage in an engineering team. Then the standard science team, hazard emitters to put out the ship fires, and gravity well, which will proc the control amp. Unfortunately, it's the only thing on this build that will proc control amp, but as you see, there's only 4 seats here, so them's the brakes. So that is the build. I was able, on my first attempt, I imagine if I were to try a few more times, I could get more, but I got about 19.2, I think 19.2k out of this build, which is perfectly passable for most of the Space STFs. It's not going to get you through Hive Space Elite, but it'll do just fine. I guess I should also mention within that price, this is all the stuff that came off of it, and a Disruptor that I bought, but my crits are coming low enough I decided not to use my Crit D2 gun. In that amount, I was able to get a stack of major and minor components, and this con officer for evasive maneuvers, 2 seconds, doesn't do much. He was part of my crew already, and reduce cooldown in engineering. He'll be in your crew as well. You always get one of these. But these three I bought 2 buffs to give shield penetration from beam overload. They were 160,000 a pop, and reduced recharge time to emergency power. I think that was about 100,000. Notice they're just green, but I was able to get all of this, and the total ship price came to about 4.5 million, including purchasing the mesh weaver for 3 million. If you're going to try this as well, take a look at the Mirror Universe Escort retrofit, also an option. Usually they're about 1.3, 1.4 million, but when I did this video, they were over 3 million for some reason, so I went with the mesh weaver. Which one's better? Well, tough to say. The Escort retrofit's probably a little bit better. But so that's my build for 4.5 million, including the ship. And as I said, I got about 19.2k. I'm going to put the video of the ISA afterwards, although with the highest hitter in there being a 24k, it's about a 7-minute ISA. So you can either stick around and watch it, in which case, thank you. Otherwise, thanks for watching the video, and I hope this build is of some help to you. And of course, there's nothing that says you can't go ahead and tweak this to your own liking. Take what you like, discard what you don't, or take the challenge yourself. See you around. Well, that didn't seem so bad. Well, thank you for watching. Tune in next time. I will be setting up a Nautilus. Until then.